Right, on the H4 time frame on the AUD USD, you can see that price is in a range currently because previously it was bearish. As you can see, breakout structure, breakout structure, breakout structure. Then price created a change of character. So when this change of character was created, I was anticipating price to mitigate either one of these points, the extreme or the decisional, then continue bullish. But again, it opened with the market gap on the last Monday, and then it created a change of character. Then right after that, I was expecting price to continue selling since there was change of character. But then again, it created another change of character. Then eventually it created one breakout structure here, then another change of character. So what this means is we have to wait for price to get out of this range to get like high probability entries. But for now, we can just use what we have. And looking at the charts, you can see this was the last structure point from here to this point, which ended up creating this change of character. And then after the change of character, what it means is price is now bearish, and we have to look for points where we can sell from. So if you look at this price action here, you can see that price was being fairly distributed. There's no any fair value gaps or any imbalance up until this point where we had the first imbalance. And this was the last pullback price created in this bearish momentum. So once this one is taken out, it becomes a liquidity grab identified with an X like this, right? So what this means, we now have a new structure point, which is this is our new lower low, then our new higher low is here, right? So this is our dealing range from this higher low to this lower low, right? And the best point to be selling at is up from this 50% level going up, because that's the discounted area. That's the premium area, I mean. So what you can do is, yes.
So price will most likely go to like the top of the point of interest area right there.
Yeah, of course. So price is wanting to get to this imbalance, but as you can see, this is the 50% zone, and inside it there's something called a breaker block, which is this blue candle in between these two candles. So instead of focusing on this POI, we can just look at this as our new POI, because it's lying right on 50%, and there's an imbalance right below this POI as well. So for the shorts, we'll be looking to take shorts from this point of interest. Then on the flip side, we can see there's an extreme order block, because you can see this candle right here is responsible for taking out liquidity of this candle, and it has an imbalance above it. So this makes it high probability for buying. So it's either we're looking for longs from here or shorts from here, but this is on the H4 time frame. So what we need to do, go to the H1 time frame to look for intraday setups where we can take trades from. So going to the H1, let me go back to the H4 and make all this only visible to the H4, so you don't disturb us on H1. All right, so going to the H1, you can see price is bearish, right? Because it was previously bullish, change of character, and then these were all liquidate grabs as price was failing to create proper structure. It was liquidate grab, then eventually breakout structure, then another breakout structure, then this point here failed to push price up, which ended up creating a change of character. After you can see price create another breakout structure here and another breakout structure here, but as you can see, this structure is very low. There's no much volume on it, right? So if we zoom out to have a clear understanding of this chart, you can see this was my anticipation actually when I did analysis on Sunday, that price was going to take out this inducement and continue selling because price is bearish. But as you can see, price has changed its direction again, and it's now bullish because of this change of character, right? So what this means is we'll be looking for longs. So why are we looking for longs? If you go back to the H4, you can see that we have a point of interest here. I'll make this visible with H1 as well, right? So if we're looking for longs on the H1, because we have a point of interest at the H4, which is this one, so our longs, I will be targeting this point here before it starts going for the shorts, right? So here, what I'm waiting for is for price to create an inducement, which is in the process of being created right now. You understand what an inducement is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So this inducement is in the process of being created. Once it's valid, and it becomes valid when price breaks up above this point here. That's when this inducement becomes valid. So after this inducement is valid, we'll be looking to take long trades from this extreme order block, right? But if price doesn't go for the extreme order block, depending on where price reach before giving us a reversal after this inducement is validated, we've also points of interest we can look for where price might potentially reverse. So you can see here there's a very tiny imbalance, which is right here. We may see price reversing from this point as well, And why that point? If you look at the previous daily high, it's here. This is the previous daily high. So price might take out the previous daily high and then mitigate on the imbalance above it. So once price tap out on these imbalances, we can go to lower time frames to look for entries, right? Because the main liquidity is the previous daily high. Once taken out, we can start looking for shorts, and we'll be looking for longs from this extreme order block. So it will be something like price will continue here, then take out this previous daily high, then go here, then continue up until it mitigates this H4 POI, which is lying on the 50% level on H4 time frame. So basically this is it on the H1. And to look for entries, we go to the 5 minutes time frame. And on the 5 minutes time frame, you can see that price was, let me make this visible only to the H4. You can see price was previously bearish this past week. As you can see, then here we have another breakout structure which invalidates all this analysis I did yesterday. So here is now our new change of character, right? Meaning price is now bullish. So you can see here, this is the extreme order block on the H1 that we identified, meaning we're still looking at it. But my anticipation is price will first break out this high before coming back here. And if you look, you can see there's some sort of a trend line forming, which is also trend line liquidity here, right? So price might potentially take out this liquidity, then give us a retest, then go to this point, then maybe come back for this imbalance, right? So for the H1 M5 time frame, I'm just waiting for price to go to this H1 point of interest or this point of interest, then we can take entries. Because taking entries in between is risky because they are low probability. But from this point, once you get confirmation, I'll send entries in the entries server on Discord. So this is basically it on the AUD USD. Do you have any questions? Yeah, let's go. Okay, bro. All right, so now the next pair I'll look at is the Euro US dollar. So on the Euro US dollar, you can see that price was actually is bearish on the main structure, because you can see here price was bearish, then breakout structure, then change of character, meaning price is now bullish. After this change of character, it's followed by another breakout structure, and this point failed to push price higher, which led into creation of a change of character. Then after that, liquid inducement taken out, validating this point here. So everything inside this range is in internal range, right? It's not the main structure, it's the internal structure or a complex pullback. But from this point to this point is our main dealing range. So what we look at in this dealing range is from this, any point above here, we should be looking for shorts, right? Which is where price currently is. And from here, we can look for longs. But since price is off rally bearish, we cannot look for longs because it will be going against the trend, right? So here in this premium level, we can see that price created an internal change of character. And why is this point a change of character? If you read into my ebook, you understand that the last valid pullback before price takes out the POI is a change of character, not any inducement. So after this change of character, we can see price previously created an inducement, which is from this point, and that inducement just got taken out by the previous 4 candle. And when this inducement was taken out, it validated this point right here as a valid lower low, right? So what we'll be looking for is to take shorts from this order flow, because you can see there is no imbalance here. The price is being fairly distributed until this point where price moved with a huge shift candle here, leaving an imbalance. So these are no order flow. We'll be looking for shorts on the H4 time frame. And now going to the H1, you can see it's the same thing. Price created a change of character, but on the H1, the inducement on H4 is actually a structure point on the H1. So this inducement, as you can see on H4, it's an inducement, but on H1 it will actually be a change of character if price successfully breaks above it. And it also happens to be the previous daily high, because as you can see, this is the day, this is Friday, starting here and ending here, and this is the previous daily high taken out. So what this means, we might see price giving us a bearish push because the liquidity is taken out here, and the next point of interest is the imbalance. And before the imbalance, you can see that we have the market gap, which is on the downside, and that also makes it our POI, because price has to be fairly distributed. So it's more likely to come back into this zone before continuing to go up. So what we can do is we can look for entries on 5 minutes time frame, targeting this point here to be filled. Then after it's filled, we can look for longs going to this direction. So I think this is clear on the, yes, this. So this is it on H1, Euro US dollar H1 time frame. I'm looking for shorts to this POI, reason being the daily previous daily liquidity has been taken out, and this is the nearest point of interest. And after this is filled, we can look for longs to this position. Now going to the 5 minutes time frame where I take entries. You can see price was bearish, then bullish. This doesn't belong here. Then bullish, then bearish, and price is still here. So here you can see price did not create a valid change of character. It liquidated crepes. This is a liquidated crepe. Why is the liquidated crepe? Because there is no any full body candle closing here. It's all wicks, many. It's like a high liquidity point, right? So what you can do is you can also make use of the sell side liquidity, which is lying from this point in form of a trend line liquidity. So once this is broken, you can look for a retest, then shorts into this point of interest I was talking about earlier. So this is it on H1 time frame. I'll be sending in my low, like clean M5 analysis in the trade entries once we see a valid setup, so we can take interest together. So yeah, basically this is it on AU and EU. I'll leave this time if anyone has a question, and then we can go through them. Then for GU and UJ, I'll send setups in the group. And on Wednesday, I think we also do a midweek review and reviewing the analysis we did today, so we can catch up. So I'll leave this time for questions. If anyone has a question, feel free to ask before I end the session.